You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Switched at Birth After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Switched at Birth After Show.
Hello, Switched at Birth fans. Yeah. Welcome to the AfterBuzz Switched at Birth After Show. I'm Yael Tygiel. This is the first Switched at Birth After Show. I got Melina Alves here. Woo-hoo! We are both huge Switched at Birth fans, and we are excited to get into it. Oh, the show is back. Have you been waiting?
I've been waiting too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
I know.
Before we jump into it, we got to tell you a little bit about Maria Menounos' new book, The Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, how she lost 40 pounds and kept it off, and how you can too. It is available now on Amazon and at your local bookstores.
Everywhere a book is sold.
Yeah.
Online.
Excellent.
And in the store.
And it's a New York Times bestseller already.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It has good recipes. I can vouch on that.
Great.
Yeah, great recipes.
So let's jump into Switched at Birth. Let's jump into the Emmett situation. That's what they are. They're Emmett.
Oh, my gosh. They're Emmets.
Yes.
I love Bay and Emmett. And I have since day number one when they met. You don't? You said that. Wait, what?
I'm not a Emmett fan.
Whoa! We should have discussed this before we decided to host together.
I'm coming around to it. We'll discuss this. I'm coming around to it. After this episode, I think I'm now a Emmett fan.
But why weren't you?
I was a Demmett fan.
You were?
I was.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah.
Okay, but why not Emmett? Did you think he belonged with Daphne?
Yeah, Emmett belonged with Daphne.
Forever?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. But after today's episode, who knows? We start the episode with Bay revealing to Daphne that they had sex. Bay and Emmett had sex, and Daphne rightfully is like, wait a second, aren't you with Tank? Mm-hmm. And he's with Mandy. And I love Bay's reaction. That we'll explain the Mandy thing. It was Matthew. We'll get there. But,
right.
But the most important thing, we didn't use anything. This is the first time they say that phrase in this episode, and they continue to say that phrase. Mm-hmm. At no point does anyone say the word condom.
No.
And I want to know if ABC Family is not allowed to say the word condom.
I don't think so, because ABC Family is still, a kid show. It really is. It's for young people. I was actually really surprised that they even said what they said today.
They said morning after pill.
I know.
Multiple times.
See, I have a little sister. I have two little sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I have one who's 16, and then I have one who's 22. So when I saw today's episode, I was furious. I was thinking there is no way my sister does this stuff. And just to see it so raw like that, that's exactly where the episode picked up. Mm-hmm. We had sex.
Yeah.
And she said sex.
She said sex.
I know. She said sex. Sex. So I wasn't expecting that. And then to hear them say they didn't use the word condom, which I don't think...
They're just not allowed to use the word condom on ABC Family?
I don't think so. I really don't. I've done other ABC shows, and there's certain words that we weren't allowed to say. And we would say it, and they'd be like, no, you can't say that. Sorry, guys. Like, retake. I don't know. I guess condom might be one. It is a dirty word.
Condom is a dirty word, but morning after pill isn't?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
They're both. I didn't think morning after pill should have been. I don't know. I'm a little conservative.
It's just a question that I thought should be brought up, and I think people should respond with their opinions on that one.
I would like to know why people, what you think.
But the whole discussion that came up about, how later on we get to Bay saying that they shouldn't have done it, she shouldn't have let him, and he shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And later when Bay is avoiding Emmett at school, and eventually they find each other and they talk about what happened, I think Emmett has a really good point. He suggests to Bay, why wasn't she on birth control?
Right.
And I think her response was reasonable, But do you think that he had the right to assume that she was on birth control?
You know, I was really offended for Bay when he said that.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he said it, I thought, well, what, you think I'm just sleeping around with people and I should be on it? But he did have a good point. I
Yeah.
mean, you've been running around with a college student and this guy and the other guy. She's had a lot of guys.
But as we know,
Yes.
she only slept with one.
I know.
Aw.
Heartbeats for her. So I think that scene was a good scene because I think a lot of people, young people, assume in that arena. They think, they're dating somebody who's older, so they're probably on the pill. And then she probably thinks, Emmett, for whatever reason, has condoms on him or something. I don't know.
Something on him.
Something plasticky, rubbery on him.
Something made of latex that will
Something.
prevent
Could be
pregnancy.
sheepskin,
Yeah.
but anyway. So I think it was good that it was addressed that, hey, kids,
Yeah.
don't assume, but if you do, apparently ABC Family has some sort of tie-in with the morning after pill to actually say it.
Yeah.
The morning after pill.
I think what was really amazing is when she was like, well, why didn't you have anything?
Yeah.
And he goes, I was going on a first date. And I was like, thank you.
Yes.
Because so many kids today assume that they're required to
They're
or that they deserve
Right.
this. And they don't. And he was right to be like, it was a first date.
Yeah.
I was meeting this girl for the first time.
Yeah. Why would I bring a condom?
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on having sex yesterday. Sex again. He said, you're using that foul word.
Sex is a foul word?
No, it's not.
All
I'm
right,
kidding.
then.
I just don't want 16-year-olds talking about it. But I think that it did address some good topics, like not assuming that the person that you're about to have relations with has come prepared or has been taking a pill or has been doing whatever the thing is. But I think I wish they would have talked about this a little bit more, but the main thing is there's no pressure on it. Not that many young kids are active, but they didn't really, it was almost like, this happens all the time, guys, so let's just talk about it real quick.
Well, I think what was also interesting is that they then took it to the whole level of let's discuss it in the fact that this was cheating.
Yeah.
They cheated on Tank.
Yeah.
And she was really hurt by the fact that she now has cheated when Emmett had cheated on her,
Yes.
which was a whole different discussion that they had.
That was bad. When Emmett cheated on
Bay with Simone.
Simone,
Who
she was
was-
after him.
And she was dating Toby.
Toby. Oh my gosh, this is so season 1.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But
Yeah.
Emmett asks her, was it a mistake?
Yeah.
Do you think it was a mistake?
Well, I mean, first she said no and then she said yes.
Yeah.
Was it a mistake? Yes. 1, you're young. 2, you are dating someone else and you just need to be aware of that. You're dating someone else. So was it a mistake in the sense of in adult world? No, because that's the person you love and hopefully that's the person she marries and has babies with and they live happily ever after. But yes, in the sense that you guys went about it absolutely the wrong way on every level. Cheating, sneaking around, not using protection. So yes, you made some bad choices. Was it a mistake?
It's such a tough question. It is such a tough question.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it was a mistake that she cheated.
Yes.
I think it was a mistake that they were dumb about it.
Yes.
I think because I'm becoming a Emmett fan, I think that, it wasn't a mistake because they're in love. But also, I mean, there's nothing hotter than a teenage boy who's been beat up by love and another person
Yeah.
in a picnic.
In a picnic.
Yeah, because that's where you want to do it.
Yeah, no, that was really sad.
Yeah.
I wasn't. Did you expect that? I wasn't.
I knew there was something up. I didn't expect it to be Matthew.
Really? What did you think?
I expected it to not be whoever.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be some 60-year-old guy because that's usually what it is.
Right. Some weird predator.
Yeah.
I don't know. I keep racking my brain, and I just watched the episode right now, so I'm really it's in my blood right now, and I'm still kind of upset about certain things. But I think that it was so wrong that I don't know. I I get so
You're so worked up over it.
I am. Matthew, I just want to hurt him. And I feel so bad about saying that, but he's just such a bad kid. And he's so awful to my Emmett. And it's just so unfair.
And we will get to Emmett and Matthew and what he deserves.
Yes.
We will totally get there.
Yes, because, yes.
You're getting a little ahead.
I am.
So the rest of the episode, Bay is kind of avoiding Emmett, and she's helping Daphne deal with what Daphne's dealing with, and we'll get to that. And Emmett is dealing with the Matthew thing, which we will get to. But before we do, I'd like to talk about Regina, whose birthday it was. Happy birthday, Regina.
Happy birthday, Regina.
So as we know, K&D got a brick thrown through the window, and Regina was fired by Wes, which the whole getting fired by Wes thing is so confusing because she didn't want to work for Wes, and then she did want to work for him, and then she wanted to make East Riverside this great place and help the community. But then all of a sudden, when she realizes that Wes is kind of screwing everybody over and he's not giving people what they deserve, but he says that he wants to make it a better place, it was just that whole relationship is abusive and confusing.
I agree. And I think the brick was well-deserved. I don't agree in vandalism, but I do agree in protesting, and they should have gone a different way.
Right.
But still, I understand why that happened. Her losing her job was a blessing and a curse, more so a blessing, because she did need to distance herself from that situation for the moment.
Yes.
I don't agree with her running away, being a coward. I don't agree with any of that. But I do agree with her taking a step back because it was getting dirty, it was getting messy, and she needed to figure out where she stood. She needed to figure out where Wes stood, and kind of get back to the root of it, get back to the start, and then start over and move forward. That's kind of where I was. So I was happy when she got fired. I wasn't sad. I was like,
Right.
oh, okay, good. Because you're not making the decision for yourself.
Right.
And she needs to think about Daphne. She needs to think about other people in her community. I mean, I feel like she wasn't really the cause, but she was being a puzzle piece without wanting to be a puzzle piece.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
What did you think?
I think the whole Wes situation, I think he used her 100%.
Yeah.
And I think that her getting fired, like you said, was a blessing.
Right.
I think she wasn't going to be able to quit herself because she knows that she needs work and that it was a good deal. I think when it comes down to what happened in this episode where she's half telling John and Catherine, where they're like, oh, vandalism, like it's no big deal, and tells Angelo even less.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can, I'm going to have dinner with all these people. These two people know exactly what's happening. These two people know kind of what's happening. This guy knows nothing.
Yeah.
I'm sure nothing could go wrong.
Right.
Why would you think that?
We should start calling them mature little liars instead of pretty little liars.
Yes.
I was really, for her to tell Daphne, I want to be the one to tell them. 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah,
100%.
you're an adult. You can do that.
Yes, Daphne, you are a child, even though people seem to forget that on the show. They are kids. And she should have done the right thing and been honest. But at the same exact time, I understand because the other family still treats them like they're a little lower class. They still do. And there's no questions about it.
It's unintentional.
I know it is, but it's happening.
It's happening.
And I'm sure it happens in real life. So I'm glad that they do address that on the show. So I can understand why Regina would be hesitant to tell everything, because then all of a sudden the control will be taken out of her hands. Things will get blown out of proportion. Who knows what's going to happen, So I do respect her for kind of wanting to handle it on her own. But if you're going to handle it on your own, she needed to do it the right way, which is this and this happened. There was vandalism. There was a note. I'm handling it because I'm a capable adult. Step back and then do what she needs to do. Be honest about it instead of, like you said, these two know. That kind of know. And, one person or two people know the whole story.
Right.
And it's no.
Well, I mean, I agree that she should have said, I know this is what's happening and I can handle it. But knowing John and Catherine, and she does, and that's, I think, the
right.
funny part, is that she knows that they would overreact. And then their reaction when we finally get to everyone, all the adults know what's happening, their reaction of, we're not mad at you. You're an adult. You know how to handle this. That was the most surprising reaction that John and Catherine could ever do.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to. Well, because at first, John's got his arms crossed and he's like, wait a minute, And I was like, oh, here we go.
John.
Here comes John to save the day with his money. And that's not what happened. I didn't like the way that he delivered that line because it did seem a little condescending. However,
Yeah, because he's not there. John is not Regina's father.
no, but they act like they are because Regina, she's lower class.
She also had a drinking problem.
She had a really bad drinking problem, like that we've all apparently forgotten about.
Yeah.
But she did have history. Okay, yeah. If you're gonna bring history, but the past is in the past, baby, let it go. So I do agree with what he said, and we're not mad at you, but you can't cower down.
Yeah.
And that whole spiel that he said, I agree. If you're gonna lose your job and you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that, do it in a non-cowardly fashion.
Right.
So I 100% agreed with John. I think that was the first time ever. Yeah.
He's tried to make good points sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catherine has a good point where she points out to Regina that she was so passionate about this East Riverside project and that she wanted to help her community and give back.
Yeah.
And that it was really hard for them to see her accept that she was fired and just be like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And they said, like, stand up for what you believe. It's, but take precautions
Yes.
and don't cower.
Yes. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
With most everyone in life, not just on the television world. If there is something that you're passionate about, you pursue it, you fight for it, you take precaution. Because just like with Regina, things were getting a little violent, things were getting unsafe. So she needed to make the right thing. People were being dirty, people were doing things under the table. So you do need to take precaution. But I agreed 100% with Catherine, especially coming from Catherine, because I think she puts off this energy of being a very independent, strong woman. But she's really not, in my eyes. When I see her, I don't see her character really that strong and that capable. Like if John really were to just go away, or I see her falling apart. Where Regina, she is a fighter, so to see her just cower down like that, I could see where they came from to say, wait a minute here. If this is really a project that you're really passionate about and you really love this, then you need to fight for it.
It's really interesting that you see Catherine as this trying to be a stronger woman, but she isn't. I think she's working on it.
She is.
I think over the last, half season, we've seen her really stand up for herself, especially with her friends cheering her on.
I agree.
Yeah.
From the start, I felt like she was really weak. And then you're right, she's been trying. She's been trying.
growing.
She's still not where some other people.
Where Regina is. Yeah.
But not to just get totally off subject, but I do see kind of almost, this might be the woman in me, like almost like a envy when she looks at Regina. And I could see why, just because she was so confident in her impoverished state. I mean, she wasn't really impoverished, but she was poor and single mom and had to learn sign language and had this beautiful girl who had this disease and had to put her through school. And even though Catherine's always had the money, she's kind of had the easier way out. That's why I don't think she's as strong. And I think when you look back in the earlier episodes, you can almost kind of see that.
Yeah.
Almost like she would take her little fangs out sometimes. Not so much anymore. So I'm thinking about the past.
Yeah. Well, I think Regina listens to Catherine and goes to see Wes.
Yes.
And asks for her job back.
What did you think?
I think Wes, who, when we first met him, I'm so confused by Wes. When we first met him, he was like, you are this strong, independent woman. You have a vision. I want to hire you.
Yes.
And then he was like, great. I want you to come. We're going to do this project and we're going to revitalize East Riverside.
Yes.
And he's like, I want to give back to the community and make it better.
Yes.
But he doesn't. And he used her. He so used her. And he doesn't want to give back to the community. He wants to make it a different community.
Yeah.
I don't trust him. I love that she comes back and she says to him, like, I want to be part of this project. You're not going to use me again.
Right.
I love that. But I don't trust him. What do you think?
I don't trust him either, and I actually think that's a really good example of most guys. Here is the moon, the stars, and the sun, and then you take them on, and then it doesn't work out. So I think that was a good life lesson for Regina and everybody watching. But no, I don't trust him, and I still don't trust him. And even with her, going back there to get her job, and he's saying, "So I'm guessing I'm not going to do this by myself," or some line like that, and she's like, "No, I would like for you to reconsider giving me my job back." I still don't trust him. Yeah. And I don't I don't think he's going to be a changed man. I don't think all of a sudden he had his Jesus moment. I think he needs a lot more time.
Well, a brick went through his car window.
Yeah.
Clearly, everything is all better now.
Yeah, of course.
He needs her now.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
One car window.
Yeah, no. No, I'm not buying any of it. And I'm hoping that what we're going to see is Regina kind of just take lead almost, and Wes kind of takes a step back. But I'm not a writer. I don't know what they're doing. Tell me, somebody.
Do you think he has good intentions? I mean, we know she does, and that even if he goes about it the wrong way, do you think his intentions are good?
No.
No. What do you think he wants to do with East Riverside?
I don't know. I was watching it today, and I was writing down, like, Wes, what do you think? And I don't know. A part of me was like, yes, he has great intentions and just got sidetracked. Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, that happens.
That's possible.
I've met people with great plans, and then their ego got involved in money and this.
Greed.
Yeah, and then they got sidetracked, but their heart was in the right place to start with. So if they just had somebody put them back on the right road, everything would be fine. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't know.
All right.
I really don't know.
Well, before we move on to Daphne's, what Daphne's been doing meanwhile while Regina's getting her job back, I want to take a second to thank our listeners and viewers for checking us out today, the first Switched at Birth podcast. We're really excited to do it. As you can tell, we're huge fans, and we want you to help us make this show better. So please find us on iTunes and on YouTube. You can rate and review us on iTunes. If you love our show, give us a 5-star rating. If you hate our show, give us a 4-star rating. But write a review. Let us know what we can do better, what we are doing great, because clearly we're doing something right. And let us know, because the more you rate and review, the easier it is for Switched at Birth listeners and viewers to find us. And it lets our bosses here at AfterBuzz know that we're doing a good job. So please find us on iTunes, YouTube, and let's get back to Daphne. All right. So I feel like in this episode, Daphne and Regina had this amazing parallel where Regina is like, I'm not going to let anybody else help me out. I know what I need to do, and I'm going to do it. And Daphne, being raised by Regina, did the same thing. Yeah. She went and found Monica and asked her to help find out who it was that vandalized the store. Which leads us to Nacho.
Nacho Libre. No, not
Nacho
so much.
Rivera.
Nacho Rivera.
Close. And I think the best interaction with Bay and Daphne after the whole morning after pill conversation was when Daphne lies to Bay and is like, I gotta go. Can you let me out? And Bay is like, I know that you're lying.
Yeah, we've been living together for 2 years.
Yeah, that was great because they really are sisters.
They are.
And so they go to the community center, and I love when Bay asks Daphne if she has a plan.
And she didn't.
No, of course not.
Not at all.
She's like, Regina, I'm going to take care of it. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Let's go talk to one of the biggest gangbangers, as Bay called it.
Gangbangers.
Gangbangers in all of East Riverside. And let's go in there with no plan.
I'm just going to throw this out there. If he's the biggest gangbanger in East Riverside, why is he playing billiards at a community center?
I don't know.
Right?
I was so confused.
That's so gangbanger.
Oh, I know. When they showed him, I was picturing like those little teardrops,
like he's murdered people.
Tattoo murder around their forehead. And all of a sudden,
an older man,
really clean cut guy with this nice little button shirt open with the orange shirt under it. I was like, that's the gangbanger.
I guess we understand what ABC Family thinks a gangbanger looks like.
And they don't use the word condoms. It's very bizarre.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding. I actually thought Monica threw the brick.
You thought Monica threw the brick?
Yes. Because when she walked up to Daphne, she was so upset.
Yeah.
And she was very standoffish, very elusive. And then, Daphne's asking her, well, will you look into it? And then she's like she almost had this look of like, I'm sorry, like pity on her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry for you. It was me. And I wrote it down. Monica threw the brick.
Interesting.
She did not throw the brick.
She did not, but maybe Monica's involved.
I just thought that, but...
No, she does look like the look in her eyes was anger and frustration. I feel like maybe she's working with Nacho.
Something, because Daphne was like, my mom is not the enemy. And then she didn't agree with her.
Right.
at all. And she's like, well, her and her boyfriend, because everybody refers them to girlfriend and boyfriend.
Yeah.
So back to Nacho.
Yes.
He is not a gangbanger. I don't care what anybody says.
He's just a kid in a community center who's angry.
I know. He like serves cookies to the homeless people and the old elderly people on the weekends.
What did you think of Bay's plan to flirt?
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
I did.
Yeah.
Because one, they didn't have that much time to draw out a really detailed plan.
Right.
And two, use, what God gave you to get to these boys. And what's the best, fastest way to get to them? Flirt with them.
Yeah.
And she was right. It'll make them happy and then da-da-da. Now the whole, if we win, you need to buy us a beer. And if you win, you can buy us a beer. And then if we win,
you do us a favor.
Do us a favor, which I didn't agree with. I thought that was a really awkward way to put it because I wish it would have been more like, well, if you win, you have to buy us a beer. And then if we win, you have to tell us a secret or something, where I was like a favor because he was like, well, right away he was like, well, what favor? And then she's like, I'll tell you when we win. And then he's like, oh, okay.
I think, so here's why she said it, and I think she did the right thing. I think that was a great plan. Because I was wondering, what is she going to say if we win? There's no, if we win, you'll tell us why you threw a brick through her mom's window. Like, that's not what you're going to say. I think the favor was the right way because she's already got them. They understand that she's flirting.
Yes.
She says, you can buy us a beer. And they're like, with our own money, we'll buy you a beer. And Martin, his Nacho's brother, was like, yeah, like, I like that.
Yeah.
So you can do us a favor. Like, that sounds playfully dirty. Oh. And so they were like, well, what kind of favor?
Okay.
Playfully dirty. I think it was the right way to go.
That's very interesting because I did see it completely different. I saw him being like, whoa, favor. And her being like, yeah, favor. Like, you owe me.
No,
but you're like right. When
you can do me a favor.
Oh, see? You did it better than her. Yeah.
I'm a little older than she is.
Oh, yeah, that matters.
I have a little more experience than she does.
You know how to flirt.
A little bit.
So I agree. Right. Okay, we're on the same page there.
Okay. So that was her plan. What were they talking about in the car ride over that they couldn't have come up with a plan? That's what I wonder.
But Daphne's driving. She can't hear.
And it's dark out.
You're
right.
So Bay would have to be signing in her face while she's trying to drive.
Well, I mean, signing and driving is a possibility. It is a thing that happens.
Yeah.
I'm sure not so much at nighttime.
Right. That's my only excuse for ABC to not.
ABC Family.
Oh, yeah, ABC Family. To not.
Right.
Have them discuss a plan before they get there.
I guess it was less of a show us them discussing. It's the why didn't they discuss it before?
But that makes sense.
That makes sense. You're right. So of course they win.
Yes.
Although even if they lost, they would get the guys to buy them a beer, and then while the guys are drinking, they get the answers.
Of course.
Like that's
win-win.
Yeah. Bay is smart.
She is smart.
She knows how to be manipulative. Yep. I love it.
That was Regina in her right there. I saw that.
Yeah. So Daphne says, you have to leave my mom alone, and explains the situation. And Nacho says, they end up arguing, and Nacho says, we don't need saving, we can do it ourselves. And Daphne points out that if they could do it themselves, they would have done it.
Yeah.
And the place is turned, and we deserve better.
I agree.
Yeah.
I thought that speech was beautiful. And then when Nacho attacked her mother, I cried. I'm not going to lie. I cried during this scene. And I probably cried right now talking about it. But this was the best acting I've ever seen her do on the show as Daphne. The best. When he attacked her mom, and Bay was like, whoa, whoa. And she just held up her finger. That's it. And then she zoned in so deep into Nacho. And her eyes almost popped out of her head. And when she said, you leave my mother out of this. And then she repeated herself. It was a beautiful moment. I think she handled herself so well. If Nacho, it just sounds so weird. Yeah. If NR does anything from this moment on against her mom, he'd have to have some big cojones because Daphne really laid it out there, her passion. And at that moment, I didn't hear you leave my mother alone. I heard you do this again, and there is no telling what I'm going to do to protect my mom. And it was a beautiful mother-daughter moment.
It was a really great moment, and you're right. Her acting, amazing.
It was.
I think the biggest problem, and it was bound to happen, is she quit. She doesn't even work there anymore, so she has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Why did you have to say that?
Of course.
Yeah. I think in her mind, they were attacking her because of this job, blah, 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 blah. And so she thought, let me just tell them this. This is her saving grace.
Right.
But it really wasn't. Do you think he took that as, oh, okay, well then now I'll back off?
It was her way of saying, my mom has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Attack Wes all you want.
Right.
I don't care.
Well, I wish she would have said that.
Yeah.
That would have been better.
Yeah, but she's not going to condone violence.
No, she's not. You're right.
So that was the subtext.
You're right. Which, we'll see what happens now.
Well, so Daphne gets home and, of course, sees Regina. And Regina talks to her and tells her that she got her job back. Mm-hmm. And she says, what is she going to do, run and hide? Like, that's not who they are. That's not, she raised them. And that is the perfect parallel to what Daphne was doing. Yep. She didn't run and hide. She went and found Nacho.
Yeah.
She told him to stay away.
Yeah.
But, of course, Daphne is scared. And then Regina says, sweetie, nothing's going to happen to me. I promise. Which is the stupidest thing you could say, because that means something is going to happen to you.
Of course. Just like every scary movie. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So,
you think something terrible is going to happen?
I think something horrible is going to happen, and I think something horrible needs to happen. Not in the sense like I want to see it happen. I just think in the storyline,
Right.
something horrible has to happen. And maybe to her and Wes, maybe not just her, but I do see something. I don't know what.
Yeah.
But something is going to happen because I think Monica is involved one way or another.
I think we wouldn't have learned her name if she wasn't.
Yeah. No, I don't think she would have came in, I think, 2 scenes if she wasn't.
Yeah.
And obviously she's pretty hardcore to walk up to Daphne when they were at the school and say, is she cool or whatever she says? And I'm like, I was watching it going, well, who are you?
Right.
I mean, are you going to like lay out some great, huge secret that's going to, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
So she must be used to snitches around
Right.
and, always so.
She runs with gangbangers.
Yeah.
There were air quotes for those listening. Gangbangers.
Gangbangers. I just love that.
Yeah.
Gangbangers. And I definitely think that she is involved some way, somehow. I don't think she's clean. I think she's a dirty girl. Like, naughty, dirty. Like, does something violent, bad, runs. Oh, I made that sound sexual, didn't I? Yeah, no, I didn't mean that.
Nope. She's a bad kid.
Girl. Yeah, bad girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Well, switching gears a little bit back to Emmett and Matthew / Mandy. So the episode starts after Bay and Emmett discuss whatever they may or may not have done stupidly. And Emmett is dealing with Matthew, and he says to him, like, let's call a truce. Yeah. You got me. I tattled on you because you were being stupid. And let's call a truce. And thank you. You brought Bay back into my life. So, of course, Matthew has to retaliate.
Of course.
So he plasters the flyers of the private text messages between Emmett and Mandy all over school, on the cars. Everyone's reading them. So I don't know why Emmett is so surprised when Melody it says, like, oh, I read the text. Were those between you and Mandy? Like, he seemed so surprised. Like, how did you find those?
You don't work at my school.
Right. They weren't everywhere.
Which Bay didn't find them?
She probably did.
They didn't address that at all.
No.
Which I would have loved to see that.
I mean,
you know?
I don't know. They were private lovey-dovey text messages. She knew that Mandy was Matthew. She knew that he was talking with her.
Yeah, you're right. There was no need to cover that. I just wanted to see what her reaction was going to be.
She would have been like, you called me this.
Yeah. Right? I wanted to see something. Show me Bay being all Latina. So back to Melody. And I don't understand. I don't think it was justified for him to be surprised at all that his mom would have known. But then I think sometimes I forget that she's his mom.
Right.
So at the same time, she works at a school, but you're my mom. So I'm a little surprised that you read it.
Right.
Like, man, you're not my peer. How did you find this?
Yeah.
I think that was where the disconnect was. However, I'm very happy that she did.
Yeah, because she approaches him and confronts him, and it says that this is cyberbullying, this is a crime, this is something you need to do something about. And I love that he says to her, like, I have to be humiliated so that we can teach everyone a lesson about cyberbullying. She goes, well, I feel like she could be like, well, you're already humiliated.
Right.
So you might as well.
She could have gone a little bit deeper in there.
Yeah. Like,
you're already humiliated. So yes,
Yeah.
but it'll prevent other people from being
Right.
humiliated.
Like you've already been cyberbullied.
Right.
That has happened.
Right.
You've already been humiliated.
Yes.
This has been all over the school.
Right.
So we might as well bring some good out of it.
Right. And
Yes.
she's a good mom.
She's a
I just
great
want to
mom.
throw that out there.
Of course.
She's a really good mom.
And we see that.
all the time.
Yeah, we
Every
see that
time
especially.
Emmett does something, she is there. She backs up her son, and yet there's still consequences. But she's always there for her son, always there to protect her son, as we see later in this
Yeah.
episode. What were you going to say?
I was going to say we definitely see her do it when he goes to confess to Principal Rose. Before he comes in, Matthew shows him a photo, which we have not seen. We have no knowledge of what it actually is, but Matthew blackmails Emmett with this photo, and I have a theory about what it is. What do you think it is?
Genitals.
Yeah, definitely.
Really? That was...
Yeah.
Wow, we're
I
like
think he sent a D pic.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, what else could it possibly be that is so humiliating?
Right.
It's not going to be a picture of someone else. Mm-hmm. So it has to be a picture of him,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes.
And they were cyber lovers. So what else are you going to send? But at the same time, man, it would have to take a lot more than just a little D pic to make me go, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm not going to turn you in.
Wait, he was going to share that D pic all
I know.
over.
I know, but he would have gotten into so much trouble if he would have done that.
I feel like, is Emmett 18 yet?
No.
Okay, so then what Matthew isn't, I watch a lot of Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Sorry, everybody.
I love
So
that
what
show.
Matthew has right now is child's
Yeah,
pee.
He does.
I don't know what words I'm not allowed to say here.
Yeah.
But it's inappropriate images of a child.
it is.
And he should not have that and should not be showing it. Regardless, of course, Emmett recants, is like, no, it was a joke. Mom was just overreacting. And I think Melody really does what I think parents forget to do in these shows.
Yeah.
And she's like, I get that he's blackmailing you. I'm here to protect you.
Yeah.
Admit what happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. But of course he doesn't, because it's probably a D pic.
Yeah, I think it is a D pic, and I wish I could just jump into that episode and be like, look, Emmett, he really could maybe go to jail for this.
Yeah.
He's older, and he has a bad picture of you, and he can't pass it out because you're a child.
Yeah.
And the fact that he even would do something like that after he's already getting in trouble for cyberbullying is just going to move him maybe from juvenile to adult.
Right.
Who knows in the prison system. But he didn't, and he cowered, which, you know, today's episode was a lot about courage and
Standing up for what's right.
yes, and standing up for what you love, like Bay and Emmett and Regina, and then Daphne, and then now this. So I think it all kind of, there was a theme today,
Definitely.
yesterday, that all tied in together. And I really wish Emmett would have done the right thing. He didn't, and I think we can all agree that he didn't.
Yeah.
You were always to do the right thing and not make decisions based out of fear. And he made a poor decision based out of fear.
I feel like in this episode, though, we can't have everybody be strong.
No, we can't. It wouldn't make for good television.
Yeah.
Not at all. Lesson learned. Don't take D pics.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's a good lesson.
Oh, okay, good.
So Melody gets very angry and assaults Matthew.
Very good.
And she says, stay the hell away from my son,
Yeah.
which is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And I think later we find out that she was suspended for attacking him.
Wonder how that happened. Do you think he reported her?
I think even if he didn't, they were directly outside of Principal Rose's office.
Oh, that's true.
Like, I think he did report her.
Yeah, I do
But
too.
they also were, right there.
Yeah. When I saw the scene happen, I actually thought she did it. Ooh, powerful. Yes. That's what you should do. Scare that little turd.
Yeah.
But then she kind of stood back and she realized what she did was wrong and looked scared and then confused and then walked away. I think had she just shoved his little butt against that locker, threatened him, and then just walked away like she owned it, if he was the one that reported it, I don't think he would have been so quick to report it.
Yeah.
But the fact that he saw that she knew what she did was wrong, he reported it, which goes back to Emmett.
Yeah.
You should have just reported the poor little kid. I mean, he's not scared to report anybody.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you could see in his face when she let go
Yeah.
that he was like, great, you
Yeah.
just assaulted me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because she looked so freaking terrified. If she would have just been like, you leave my boy alone, and then just like one little shove and then walked away, I don't think he would have been so courageous. He's a little coward.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think before we catch the final moments, I want to talk a little bit about Tank, because Bay was supposed to break up with Tank for Emmett. And because he had depledged the frat and lost all his friends and had to move out.
So dramatic.
And then, that is super dramatic. And then he says to her, thank you for pushing me and challenging me. It was so corny. I feel like dating you has totally changed me. And I'm psyched to see how else I'm going to change with you. Oh,
my heart.
Romance.
Thou breaketh for you.
I would have totally broken up with him right then and there.
Yeah,
ooh,
red flag.
This is a little much.
Listeners, that's a little much. Ever. You never changed because the other person wants you to change, for one.
Yeah.
Ever. And then you never find your identity in the other person. That's exactly what he did. He found his identity in Bay, which isn't his identity. That was Bay's interpretation of what she thought he should be. Not in a fraternity, not this, not that.
Right.
And first of all, how are we okay with their relationship with the age difference?
It's not that much of an age difference.
Really?
If he's pledging a fraternity, he's probably a freshman. So he's a year above her. The fact that Max Adler, I believe his name is like late 20s is a different story.
Okay.
The fact that the actor is a little bit more mature, maybe in his 30s.
Right? I think he's in his 30s. I never understood Bay and Emmett. I love Bay and Emmett.
Bay and Tank.
Bay and Tank. I thought it was an odd couple.
It was, from the beginning, it was clear that he liked her and that she was never into him. She started dating him because he was good to her and he treated her right, which is something she never had. But that doesn't mean that it worked.
No, I don't think there was ever an attraction there. And I don't think you should base all your relationships on attraction, but there does need to be an attraction. And I don't just mean physically, just in everything that the person does for you. I'm attracted to, she found comfort in him being nice to her. And it was almost like a settling moment for her. Like, well, okay, you know, he's nice to me. He buys me dinner.
Right.
So I never bought it. I never bought the relationship. I never thought it was going to last. And
I didn't think it would last this long.
Right. It did last a long time. And he had issues. And I thought that, she, ever since I moved to California, and let me just put this out there, I use the word like. I never used this word in Chicago.
We'll see. I'll find evidence that you did.
Watch. No, I didn't. I swear. So I really wanted to see her break up with him. And that speech, like you, but you are more mature, would have made you go running out the door.
I don't know if I'd run. I would have explained to him that he was really sappy. I mean, I agree that you shouldn't change because someone tells you you need to. I think what Bay did was show him, hey, you don't have to be like this.
Yeah.
But I think Tank in himself has this huge exploration ahead of him to find out who Tank is. Right. Because he was doing what his frat brothers wanted, and then he did what she wanted. And I think he needs to now take time to do what he wants. Yeah.
But he doesn't even know what that is yet.
And that's what I think will come of their breakup when it happens.
Well.
Before we get to news, I just want to throw in the last few moments of the episode where Angelo is learning sign language and moves in.
I think it's fantastic.
I'm so excited. Do you think it's too soon, or it should have happened a long time ago?
Should have happened a long time ago.
I agree. We're on the same page tonight.
Yep.
And John unintentionally snoops through Bay's computer and finds, where in Mission Hills can I buy the morning after pill? I'm going to be honest, Bay, you don't have to write out the whole question when you search. You could have searched morning after pill, Mission Hills.
That's it.
Yeah, you didn't need the whole.
All it took.
I don't know if you know how to use the internet where you live. But
right. They
in
don't.
Mission Hills.
It was bizarre because when he said, and I started typing in weather. And so my first thought was, what's that, whore? Whore? Like, what was Bay searching for? Whore? And then he read out the whole sentence. And then she ended it with, and this is Bay.
Yeah.
I was just, so concerned for her because obviously this isn't something she wanted her parents to find out. However, it is something that her parents should know only because of the health risks associated with the morning after pill. It's not like taking candy. There is a lot of health risks. Studies have shown, and I'm just going to get technical for a second, that it has eliminated women's chances of getting pregnant in the future. And it has been linked to maybe causing some cervical cancer. I mean, it's stuff that her parents probably should know. Definitely her doctor. And I don't think she ever was planning on consulting a doctor. I think she just went to Walgreens like you can and just buy it and then be done, right? So I was a little happy that they saw it.
I think it would have been better if they would have talked about it with her.
I think so too.
I think she should talk with them. I think they should be happy that she's being responsible.
I agree.
At least she's doing something about it.
Yes.
I think a discussion is coming in our future, and I'm very excited.
A big discussion.
Yeah, because sex ed talk should always be.
It'll be an ambush. I don't think it'll be a discussion. I don't think John is capable of discussions.
Oh, no.
He just ambushes. That's all he knows how to do.
Yeah.
And that's my only downfall on him finding it out this way. I wish Catherine would have found out about it. Even though I don't agree with Catherine. A lot of times she keeps things and it's weird. Yeah. It gets messy. However, I think this is a mother-daughter talk. And I really wish Bae would have gone to her mom and kind of discussed it with her, and then they would have done what needed to be done. But at the same time, I think John might be thinking more so like his daughter's just out with a bunch of people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's not thinking about it logically. He's thinking about it like a freaked out parent.
Yeah. A freaked out dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, Bae looks through some memories of her and Emmett, and then they meet up and they both give these big emotional speeches about how their worlds are upside down and how everything's so complicated. But of course, they're meant to be, and they will work it out.
Because that's how life works.
Yeah.
It will always work out in the end. Yeah, no, not so much. But cute moment.
Yes.
Okay, take it for what it is. Adorable moment. I love the fact that they're so hopelessly romantic and in love with each other. Like I said, I've always been a Bae and Emmett fan, only because Bae was so entitled and so in this tiny little bubble. And then here comes this deaf boy, redhead deaf boy.
With a motorcycle.
With a motorcycle. He was a bad to the bone. And I think that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Introduction to her world. So I'm happy to see them back together.
Yeah.
I am happy to see them back together. It was funny, though, because they do kind of like this cheesy little really long hug. And I'm thinking, weren't y'all just sleeping together the night before? Like, what's going on here? All of a sudden, it's very PG, you know, but it was sweet. It was a sweet moment. And I really, like I said, I'm a big fan of them. But you're getting there.
No, that's beautiful.
You're turning. You're going to be.
I will get there.
Yes.
But now I think it would be a good time to get to news.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Excellent. You have some news you wanted to share.
I do, because Switched at Birth has been nominated for a Teen Choice Award. Woo! And you can vote every single day, which was news to me.
Yeah.
You're like, girl.
Of course you can.
I've been voting all day.
Yeah.
So I will vote tonight, and I will vote tomorrow, and then hopefully all the listeners and all the viewers will vote too, because we want them to win.
Yeah, they
I think
deserve
this is
it.
a fantastic show. I think the drama is fantastic, and then also the sign language. Come on.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's a groundbreaking series.
It really is. So
Yeah.
vote. Teen Choice Awards.
I also found some news. Later in the season, according to Katie LeClaire, we will see hotness and steamy scenes. I don't know what that means. But also, Katie is getting married in September.
What?
So congratulations, Katie LeClaire and
yes.
future husband. And there were more information in that article. I will tweet that out this evening. So make sure you're following me on Twitter. Let's head over to predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. In the trailer or in the promo, we saw a lot of things coming up. Do you have any predictions for next episode?
For next episode?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Next episode. Well, looks like Tank gets angry. So maybe there's a fight between Tank and Emmett. I think that could very much happen. He seemed, because this episode we heard, he put his whole entire world into Bae,
Yeah.
and then that world leaves. So what does that leave him with? Not much to fight for. So I think there's going to be some sort of nasty little fight. We spoke earlier on Bae and her dad, how there's going to be something.
Something. A chat.
Oh,
An uncomfortable chat,
confrontation.
yeah.
I don't know.
I think that Bay is, of course, going to break up with Tank. I like your prediction of the fight. That might be interesting. And it looked like Matthew is up to something. And I have a fear, a really terrible fear, that Matthew stuck around after beating up Emmett and videotaped what they did that evening, and that's what it was, because we saw them looking at a computer. I have a fear that that's what it is.
It is. It is. That is what it is.
How do you know that?
I didn't put that together until right now.
So it's possible.
Oh my gosh, no, that is what it is. Let's
see.
put money on it.
No.
Okay, but I do think that's what it is. I think you figured it out.
Yeah. And also, when is Toby coming back? That's a
Hopefully
good question.
soon.
Yeah.
I'm still really sad about Toby and his wife.
Yeah. Melina, tell the folks at home where they can find you online.
You can find me at Melina TV on everything. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. That's where I'm at.
You can find me online at yael.tv. That's yael.tv. And you can find info about the styling from Siren's Boudoir on yael.tv and on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google+, at Yael Tygiel. That's YaelTygiel. And we will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.